Hello, everyone. I am Isaiah Pritzel, or Mr. Pritzel, and I'm going to be your incoming freshman's English teacher for trimester one. With how we have things set up here, there's a really good chance, I can't say with like 100% certainty, but there's about a 90% chance that if I have your kid in trimester one, I will have them for the entire year, just because there's an effort to keep that consistency amongst their teachers, which is pretty cool. So if I have your kid now, I'll get to see them and work with them for the whole year. A little bit about me. I am actually a former Egan grad, which is kind of cool to come back and be able to teach with a lot of the people who taught me. I graduated in 2015, and I'm now in my fourth year teaching here, fifth year overall, but fourth year at Egan High School. And it must be a pretty good place if I decided to come back after being a student here. In terms of involvement here, I coach football. I'm excited because we actually have a scrimmage later today as I'm recording this. I'm also part of LINK, which is like the welcoming committee, which if you come to the orientation and everything, you'll hear more about that. So I love getting involved in the school, and I'm doing anything I can to support the kids just outside of just English class. So a little bit about what we will be doing in this class. As you can imagine, with an English class, we're going to be focusing on skills such as comprehension of what they read, analysis of what they read. That's one of the biggest things that changes from middle school to high school. Is it's great that you can read something and summarize it and tell me what it was. Now let's try to make some meaning from it and use that textual evidence to kind of build some bigger points and kind of make some statements about what we think the text is trying to say. And then when it comes to writing, the big thing is just organizing our thoughts, making sure that we have all the pieces that are necessary to have a good piece of writing. So we do a lot of things to work on structure and make sure everything is included, and then from there we kind of fine-tune things a little bit. In terms of like how this class is going to be, I'm going to say this in the most simple and straightforward way that I can. Your kids are going to read a lot, and that is like a huge push, a huge passion of mine. And last year, the kids read over 312,000 pages, and that's all of my classes combined. That's for the whole year, which I think is well over 2,000 pages per kid. And I say that to say, you might want to warn your kid to get ready. There is a lot of reading that we do in here, and it's a mixture of class texts, short things, full novels, independent reading, book club stuff. So we mix it up a little bit. We do so many things in here to create as many positive experiences with reading as possible, just because my goal is that when the kids get later, in their high school and potentially college careers, when they get tasked with, reading a big text, they at least have an open mind to it based on the positive experiences that they had with it in this class. Just, things to think about for how you can, I guess, help and support at home, because I know some parents are always, asking about that. The biggest thing is to encourage the kids to read at home. So in my class, a lot of the work that we do is in-class stuff. I like to tell the kids that if we're productive and, we do what we got to do within the hour that I have you, I'm not going to give you a lot to take home. Obviously, that's not the case every day. There will be times where they do have to take stuff home. But also, they do have... I call it continued practice, not homework, because usually the kids respond better when I call it continued practice instead of homework. But they do have 10 minutes of independent reading every single day. And that's just to continue building up our stamina, building up that habit of, consistently being in a book. So that is one thing, like if you want to, be able to support the things that we're doing in here, is I'm going to bug your kids all the time, to make sure they're getting their 10 minutes of independent reading at home. So you could help me out with that, and you can bug them a little bit too. The other thing is to make sure they have a notebook. There's not really like a lot of extra required supplies, just kind of like the basics, like make sure you bring a pen and pencil every day and things like that. But the notebook is important, and having like a notebook that's dedicated just to English, because we're going to have writer's notebooks that we write in every single day. So Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, we're going to do grammar practice. Tuesdays, we'll do writing prompts. Thursdays, we'll do vocab work. And their notebooks are going to be split into different sections, for all of those things. So it's important that they have a notebook that's dedicated specifically to English, just so they don't, mix things up, like they have a little bit of English, a little bit of math, because then things kind of get out of place and unorganized. And the reason I show this is because I actually bought 50 notebooks, 50 of these ones, because I saw them. I could get 50 of them for $8 at Walmart, so why not? And I'm going to pass them out on a first-come, first-served basis. So if your student doesn't have a notebook and they're one of the first 50 kids to ask for one, I will have one for them. But this video is getting kind of long, so I'll kind of, stop it here. If you guys have any questions now or at any point during the year, please feel free to reach out. But I really look forward to having a great year with all of your students.